According to scientific finding, all thoughts are filled in the mind memory bank under a filing system based upon the associated feeling and its finer gradation. They are filed according to feeling tone, not fact. Consequently, there is a scientific basis for the observation that self awareness is increased much more rapidly by observing feeling rather than thought. The thought associated with even one feeling may literally run into thousands. The understanding of the underlying emotions and its correct handling is therefore more rewarding and less time consuming than dealing with one thought. In the beginning, if one of the thought is unfamiliar with the whole subject of feeling, it is often advisable to begin merely by observing them without any intention of doing anything about them. In this way, some clarification will occur about the relationship between feeling and thought. After there is much more familiarity, some experimentation then occur. For instance, certain area of thought that tend to reoccur can be set aside and the feeling associated with them identified. The feeling can then be worked with by first accepting that it is there without resisting it or condemning it. And then one begins to empty out energy of the feeling directly by letting it be what it is until it's run out. Somewhat later, the former thought can now be looked at and their character will be observed to have changed. If the feeling has been totally surrendered and let go, usually all thought associated with it, it will be disappear entirely and been replaced by a concluding thought which handle the matter quickly. For example, there was a case of a man who misplaced his passport shortly before going for a foreign country. As the scheduled date of departure drew closer and closer, his inner panic mounted. His mind raced vividly, trying to think where the password could have been misplaced. He searched high and low. He tried various mental tricks to no avail. He berated himself. How could I have been so stupid to lose a password? Now there isn't any time to get another one. As a fateful day approached, he faced a real dilemma. No passport, no trip. Missing the trip had a lot of negative consequences because it was both business and pleasure, and it would have created a difficult situation. Finally, he remembered to do the letting go technique. He sat down and asked himself, what is the basic feeling I have been ignoring? To this surprise, the basic feeling that came up was grief. The grief was associated with not wanting to be separated from someone he dearly loved. There was also an association fear of loss of the relationship, or at least the weakening of it due to his absence. As he let go of the grief and the associated fear, he suddenly felt at peace about the matter. He also concluded that if the relationship couldn't handle it, a 2 week absence it wasn't worth all that much anyway. So there was really nothing at risk. As soon he felt at peace, he instantly remembered where the password was. In fact, it was in the place so simple and obvious that only unconscious blocking could explain why he had not remembered it. Needless to say, all the thousand of thought about the missing password, the failed trip, and the potential consequence instantly disappeared. His emotional state became one of the gratitude and happiness instead of frustration. Letting go can be very useful in everyday life situation, but it is used in life crisis can be crucial in preventing and alleviating large amount of suffering. In a life crisis, there is usually a overwhelm of emotion. The crisis has tapped in one of the major area of suppressed or repressed feeling. In this emotion, the problem is one of the identifying of the emotion, but how to handle it is the overwhelm. Thanks for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe.